Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. I believe it's going to be another 67 Camaro video. We're in here getting a bottle of tea. It's a little early for Guinness. And we just put a little bit of Simply Pop in the Hound's pretzel container because we're out of pretzels. I literally thought we had another one of those on the shelf, but apparently we don't. So, on today's list, let me grab a pointer. Okay. If you recall from yesterday, we're dealing with this right here. I've thought about it. I'm actually going to either pull the header or the fender. I'm not sure which. But this spot here, I'm going to build up. So we'll clean that and just weld a line here and then reshape that. I think that's really the best way to get there from here. Because, let me grab a light. Yeah, well, sorry. This is never pre-planned. I just kind of do stuff. But you can see here what that gap looks like. And looking at it, it's more this header than it is the fender. So I think cleaning that up a little bit will help. Because I really don't want that to be just filler. I don't want that at all. And it doesn't look like it's that much work. Might as well do it. This side looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy on that side. But that side, we're still working. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is, remember, we had to repair this one side over here. So I've cleaned up a nice washer. Yeah, see, somebody at some point did something here. I just got shocked because it's dry in here. So I'm going to go ahead, weld this washer in. And then maybe I'll put the spoon and fill that in. I might not. It won't matter. But I need something solid for the bolt. Okay, I've been cleaning. I've got one more little void I want to fill in right here. Because I want that to just be metal. Not build up on filler. But I've been slowly filling and grinding and filling and grinding and letting it cool. So that this can become the nose that I know it can be. Okay, hopefully this is out enough now. So I think we'll go ahead and get this back on and see what our fitment looks like. I think we're going to be happy, but you never know. Well, I just took ShopDog in. He's not really into all this grinding and welding and stuff. Oh, well, you always wonder what song is going to be on when you come in. So, okay, let me go turn that down real quick so we don't get a copyright strike, even though we're not monetized. There, we'll just quiet it for a minute. So here is where we're at. We've got stuff dropped on the floor. So you can see this is getting pretty close to the same shape now. And now that we've welded in a nice solid surface here, I definitely feel better that that's not going to tear. And since it was out, I went ahead and put a riv nut here because the little square nut that's supposed to be there has been gone, well, since I've owned the car. So any chance you get to make things easier to build, why wouldn't you? So it's still under a little stress. I got to figure out whether I need to change the shape of the latch or if the actual panel is twisted a little, but it is under a minor bit of stress to be where it is. I would like it to be under less stress, so we'll kind of look into that. But I don't know, things are starting to look pretty good. I think before too long all this will come back apart and we'll put it together with inner wheel wells. I don't know if that's today. We'll find out, but that is definitely on the list because at some point I have to put those lower fender extensions on. Got to have the inners for that. And we're going to have to do this valance as well. I'm sure there's repairs I'm going to have to do on that. And who knows about it fitting or anything like that. So, yeah, that's coming. That's definitely on our list. In our next dig at our good friends at Goodmark, this is an original inner. I'm under a lot of stress here and here, bolting it up. But more importantly, look at that. That's supposed to be flat. So I got an odd suspicion. I'm not going to be happy in a few minutes when I go to try to put this together. You know, gonna be notching here, I think. We'll see how that goes. I had to actually smack here and here. My good friends at Goodmark. And then I don't obviously have these very tight. I can still drive a stick in here. But I figure I'm going to need this to be able to move a little bit. Let's see how bad this is. It has been a bit of a mistake waiting this long to try to fit the inner. I am fighting. I am just fighting to get this all together. So I haven't figured out how, because that inner was on this car, but nothing lines up now. And obviously it's going to have to be relative to the fender. So with some force, I got one of the 3 screws in there, and don't worry, the wiring's just pushed out of the way so I could see. You can see this giant gap here, so that needs to be under stress. Not happy about that. Also have a problem over here. Not a chance, just not even close. This screw needs to go into a hole that's way up here, so something's fishy there. The only thing that's really actually worked out okay is this corner right here, because of course it did. It doesn't have a choice. So I redid shimming here, and I'm pretty close. I know I can work that in, so I don't care about that. That looks pretty decent. Didn't move the door, so you know that still should look exactly the same. But probably was for naught, because I have a feeling that I'm making some changes because of this inner. So what that's telling me is 2 things. One, I gotta mount this one as well, and oh boy, is this not going to be fun. So they give you a little bit of play, but not a ton. What that really means to me then is that this is probably what's actually wrong, these 2 locations. Not sure what to do about that yet. I think I'm going to take a break. There's still a ridiculous amount of fitting to do before I even look at that side. I finally pried enough to get those 2 bolts in and just started looking at this drop. And you'll note I have none of the 3 bolts. I think I'm going to have to loosen this bracket here. And that's way easier to do when the fender's off. Anyway, I've got 2 bolts kind of started here. And I don't know if you're noticing a trend here, but that's not even close. What am I going to do here when I go to put the trim on? I mean, look at this. So, and like I said, I've only got them loose because I was trying to push it forward, which of course, sorry about that, it's not going to do. Okay. Am I going to have to actually order their trunk or their fender drops just so it'll have the same profile instead of these factory ones? I guess I'm going to look at the cost of that, because there is no chance that I'm going to be able to replicate that and make that work. This just, that is out of my skill set. Okay, so I put that factory passenger side on, and I've only got 2 bolts kind of loosely holding it. Same 2 bolts, by the way. And gee, imagine that. Same profile. Nope. So I'm going to have to give money to Goodmark, because there's no way I can replicate that. That's just more work than that's going to be worth trying to. Yeah, this line is totally not the same. Absolute bugger. So, okay. And then, of course, pretend there's a piece of metal between them. And then, of course, the bumper bracket actually goes through right here. That's why you see this big gap right there. So that's that bumper tab. Shop Dog's running about. Went and got him. Had to go in and edit up a quick Shop Dog short. You know, just calling out my good friends at Goodmark. So, oddly enough, I imagine it's not Goodmark specific. I'm sure they're all garbage. But aftermarket garbage is garbage. Oh, thank God I'm not paying somebody to do this work and I'm doing it myself. I can't even imagine the money I would have already spent, you know, between altering all of this, fixing this. Literally just went in a few minutes ago and gave Goodmark another $120 because, you know, chances are pretty good the ones they stamped fit their fender. I hope so. If they don't, I will return those. So, anyway, back to work. Shop Dog is not amused at this Goodmark garbage. See, and I'm not calling them out on purpose. This is literally their sticker. But, so we've got this off. I am going to go ahead and grab the inner for this side and let's get really, really mad. Well, neighbor Jeff, aftermarket garbage really is garbage. I've said that 100 times in this video. I wish I had the kind of money to afford NOS parts, but man, none of this is working out. Tell me how well that fender extension works.
Not good.
Not good at all. Not even a little bit. Ugh. Are you kidding? I'm trying to put this inner on. And, okay, bolt started here. Bolt started here. Almost can start a bolt here, but not quite. Look at that. Not even close. And after a whole bunch of fighting, this still doesn't line up. And look at this. That's going to be under a lot of tension. Is what it is. And as predicted, none of that fits. Absolute waste of my time, waste of my money. I'm flustered right now. I'm walking away. If this is the end of the video, great. If it isn't, well, I'll see you in a minute. Either which way, please like, comment, and subscribe. It says welcome back. We're going to get a cookie. Yeah, sneaky jar. Okay. Well, here's an update. I went ahead and ordered the Goodmark, you know, got to give them more money, fender extensions, and we will hold those up. If they're the same profile and they at least match the fender, then I'm going to use them and we'll go from there. If they're not, I'll send them back and we'll figure out what to do here. But, man, none of this stuff ever fits. So, hate giving Goodmark more money, but, you know, I already made a call. So, let's get the shop turned back on. It's been a couple days, so I did come out a few hours ago and turn the heat up. But it's not that bad out. It's like 30. Old Shop Dog's judging me. Picked the car up. And I'm just... When I rage quit on Sunday, none of this on this side was fitting at all. So, let me zoom out. So I was like, I better walk away before I break stuff. So now I've got some things loose. I've got bolts started. This one's under massive tension. I don't like that. I'm trying to get to a point where I can get the core support attached. But I just started one fender washer. I just went and grabbed another one here. So we'll get that kind of started. So at least this side I can actually use that bracket. This is, for what I'm doing right now, close enough. You can see I'm a little pinched there. Obviously there's something not right in the shim stack there. Because I haven't moved the door, but now, you know, it catches. But I'm slowly just trying to get this on here to find out what mods I'm going to have to make. They're realistically probably going to be to the inner. It's just going to be easier, I think. And I did go ahead and drop a screw through here to kind of, well, there was one here too. Okay, that moved. There we go. Because you can see this moves a lot. So just trying to keep everything in a line. I don't know if it's going to show up real well, but obviously none of that's lining up the way it should. There appears to be some kind of fold back there that I'm fighting, and then, you know, obviously that's not lining up too well either. So I think this is all coming back out and coming back off, which is a bummer. But I got to find out why it doesn't want to fit. The other problem I'm suddenly noticing is suddenly there's a lot of room here. So hopefully I can make some adjustments. Yeah, so with that bolt loose and the ones on that side loose and this bolted here, you can see I wind up with a pretty big gap here. So there's still definitely some work to do, and I'm wondering if some of it's the fact that this won't go, you know, that the inner won't go in correctly. So getting it all back apart. All right, let's come back to a stock fender again. And look, there is this reinforcing piece. Notice it's pretty smooth in there on both of those. Yeah, ShopDog's going to get in trouble. He keeps licking his foot. Going to get lip granulomas. But let's come in here. Oh, I went to the wrong side of the fender here. And look at that. So why are those not flat? What were they trying to do here? This is probably why I couldn't get the inner all the way in. Because of course, our good friends at Goodmark, they're not very good at their jobs. I bet that's probably why I was fighting this one too. Let's see if we can... Yeah, look at that, see? Okay, well, guess I'll get a dolly out and finish the job that they didn't do. You know, it's only money, right? Okay, we've got that off. I've been reshaping as we go to get it so that things actually want to clamp in. We're getting close here. And then I've just put some big nuts here. And then one of the things you can obviously see is, obviously this hole isn't even bloody close, which explains why I couldn't get bolts in it. So, and I know it's not the inner, it's definitely the fender. So we're going to have to relieve that. That's awesome. Makes me feel confident. You can see that we're starting to get it to want to fit a little better. I'm worried that this now just changed all of my other adjustments in the car, but is what it is. So this is the area I'm working now. And remember, actually I don't know if it's actually in the video, but that's why there's a gap here, because one of these brackets goes there. So see, it'll sit like that, except, you know, the other side, which is, it's around here somewhere. So, guess that's next. Okay, so we got that ground out, enough to get the bolt in, and I've got this on here. It is under severe tension. You know, this is bowed way up, so there's about that much gap until I put stress on it. But you gotta start somewhere, so I've been kind of just smacking things with a hammer, letting things relax. I think, see, I got that lip down as good as that's getting. So that's in and that's over. This one isn't an issue. It doesn't seem to care. This lined up pretty good on those two. So, is what it is. Oh, and this is what the back of that looks like from that stud. Pretty neat, huh? Well, I don't know when you guys stopped being there. So, anyway, if I didn't already say this, now I'm saying it again. Looking at this, don't know that I can pull this back too much further. You know, it's under a lot of tension. So I'm probably looking at pulling the door forward. Plus, it looks like the door could go in just a wee bit. So But I'm not going to final worry about that yet. I now have to get this fitted. All of this just to find out that I bet that one also doesn't fit. But at least for now, because we have this under tension, hopefully this is relaxing a little and wants to be where it is. But I bet that's not going to be the case. I bet that'll be a fight. So, all right. Well, ShopDog says that I'm getting flustered and I should quit. It's been several days trying to fight this problem. We're just going to leave this on here for tonight. I'm going to drink beer and relax. Keep ShopDog from licking his foot, so I'm mean. And, you know, next time I'm out here, we'll pull this off. And I need to add material here. This is a full shim. So we've already looked at that. And that is clamped. That is under load. So it's about as good as that's going to be. Sorry there's some missing footage. With this new phone, I keep hitting the volume buttons that aren't where they used to be on the old phone. And it turns out when you're recording, the volume button turns off the camera. So that's awesome. Gotta learn. So anyway, like I said in a segment that I don't think is still here, if I sound frustrated, it's because I am. So yeah, this door here isn't perfect yet. I'm gonna have to probably move it forward a little bit, which is good because it's a little loose here. It's also not quite lined up, but now that I've got the inner on, it's under a slightly different arch. So probably actually going to pull the door itself in just a touch, which of course is going to cause us problems in that corner. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. ShopDog says, let's all have a beer.